Hello and welcome to Nikolay's genetics lessons, and today I'm going to talk about mnemonic techniques for medical students, and not necessarily for medical students, for any students. I'm going to teach you today how to memorize things which doesn't make sense. It is very hard to memorize such things. For example, imagine that you have to memorize trinucleotide repeat disorders, and here is the list of names, and here is the trinucleotides which, when repeated over a certain number of times, would cause genetic disorder. For example, Fragile X syndrome is caused by repetition of the trinucleotide CGG over and over again. So in norm, it is repeated up to 40 times and doesn't cause any disease. But if it is repeated more than 40 times, then you got this Fragile X syndrome. Fragile X syndrome is caused by changes in a gene called Fragile X messenger ribonucleoprotein 1, and FMR1 usually makes a protein called FMRP that is needed for brain development. And people who have this syndrome do not make this protein or made modified version of this protein, which is not as efficient. So the first method would be we mentally have to add vowels to the abbreviation of consonant letters to form a word. Then mentally connect it with the abbreviation. And this can be several words as well. For example, if you don't know any word which has these three letters in it, instead you can come up with three words. If it would be not CGG, but LGG, I would come up with Lady Gaga. But unfortunately, we don't have any nucleotide which starts with L, so here's second variant how to memorize. Come up with a small story or picture that would explain the abbreviation. You can create cards using AI programs such as Leonardo AI, which I used in order to create this picture. It's not necessary for you to use such programs. You can create such picture in your head mentally. So basically, what is my picture? Cat, C stands for cat, by the name Gigi, playing with Fragile X, and I'm saying don't play with Fragile X, it can break. So this is my mental picture. How to memorize 40 in this context? You also can imagine that this cat is 40 years old, and as you know, cats do not live 40 years, but in order for better memorize something, it would be better to come up with something that is not real, and you would memorize it much better. For example, you would memorize much better cat who is going to be blue, and you would see it on the street, than cat who is going to be black and white, because blue is very unusual, for cats. The more absurdic pictures that you are going to create in your head, the better. It not necessarily have to be logical. If it's going to be illogical, it's even going to be much better. Now let's talk, for example, about Huntington disease, which is caused by repetition of the trinucleotide CAG over 35 times. If you would have this repetition below 35 times, you are good, your health is good. But if more than 35 times, you're going to have this genetic disorder, and the more repeats you're going to have, the more severe this genetic disorder is going to be. So again, I came up with this picture. A man who was hunting people got into prison, he got into the cage. So CAG stands for cage. He is 36 years old, and from now on, for the rest of his life, he's going to be in a cage. He's going to suffer for his crimes for the rest of his life. Now let's check how this powerful mnemonic technique works. Do you still remember what are the causes of the Fragile X syndrome? It is cat by the name GG, so CGG, and it is 40 years old. So expansion of this trinucleotide over 40 times. And Huntington disease, again, you have to recall a man sitting in a cage. he has a number on his rope, which is 36. So he's 36 years old, and that means that this genetic disorder is caused by the repetition of the trinucleotide CAG over 36 times. So as you see, this mnemonic technique is very simple, but nevertheless very powerful technique. And in the comments area, I want to see your messages, how you're going to memorize the other two genetic disorders. Turn on your imagination. It has to be your picture, your story, your associations. In this case, you will memorize for a very long time, maybe even for the rest of your life. And don't think that it's going to take a long time. For example, it took me about 30-40 seconds to come up with the picture for this disease, and about the same time, 30-40 seconds, to come up with this story and this picture. And this is all for today. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Goodbye.